Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Sparklight. Today is an interesting episode because I've never had guests before. So all of you guys, John, I know, first of all, I want to commend you with the work you do. I appreciate the work you do. I'm actually a fan of your work. I rock with it. I think you do a great job covering the team. So I want to say that and commend you.
Appreciate it.
Also got my HoopsNBrews homie, TPJ.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Here. So
nice to be here.
Yeah, you guys are my first guest. I guess we're going to talk about the Sparks. I think, first of all, how do you feel about where they sit right now, the Sparks, and just the basketball they played over the past week?
Well, first of all, what's up, everybody? John W. Davis here, LA Sparks beat reporter for Insidr, and I feel pretty good about where they sit right now. They're 13-8, 8 out of 10 won the last 8 out of 10 last games they won. I mean, they're looking pretty good. Candice Parker is back. She seems like she can kind of hold on through the rest of the season. So, I mean, health is always going to be the big thing with the team. Yeah. But, I mean, they're looking pretty good right now.
I mean, the game against the Storm was the best game Candice played all season. Like, to me, that was her. That was, I feel the last, because, again, like, I grew up, Candice is from Naperville. So I grew up, like, knowing who Candice Parker was. Like, I mean, I think if you cared up, and I think she graduated in 2004, so I was like 12, 13. Mm-hmm. So I was obviously interested in high school basketball because that was like the next level up. So I remember when she, did the dunk contest. I remember like the women's McDonald's All-American game that she played in. And throughout the entire season, like, she was nice, but I didn't feel like I was seeing like Candice Parker. I feel like the past two games we've seen like Candice Parker. She looks to be, I mean, that's why I even like asked her about like her health, because she looks like she's the healthiest that she's been all season. Like, when you can just see some players play and it's like, I know you healthy because of like the things you're doing. Like, I know that you don't have any like, I don't know if I want to make this move because, like, I don't know if I'm going to tweak something or something like that. Like, even defensively, she was blocking shots. Her isolation scoring has been much better. I think against the Storm, she played she had 21-7, 2-2.
Right. But I would actually counter that she had her better game the first one.
Against the Aces?
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I would say because it was more across the board.
That's fair.
It was more efficient.
That's fair.
Because I'm a player, or not a player. I'm a person who likes
efficiency.
Yeah, I'm a person who likes efficiency. And I look at the analytics, and if I look at the first game and you have 16 points on 5 of 9 shooting, you made 3 of 3 threes, you made all your free throws, you had 4 blocks, 3 steals, 3 assists, I feel like you had more of an impact that first game.
Regardless.
So it's not all about the scoring.
Regardless, the past two games are the best.
I mean,
it's still
she saw she won Player of the Week, though, right? So that's why these two games.
As she should have. Like, and just when I look at this team, man, like, I think I said it like 2 episodes ago that if they get healthy, I really don't know who can beat them, or they can pretty much beat basically anybody. I mean, like, you think Vegas would be a team that's there, but Age is out. She has a high ankle sprain.
Right.
And high ankle sprains isn't just something that you just pop back in and just, get back to playing like you were playing from. Like, that's pretty much a 2-month injury.
Right.
When you get a high ankle sprain, you're out for at least 8 weeks. So,
yeah, I know you want to talk about it later, but that's where the playoffs come in.
Yeah.
That's the importance and about the WNBA playoffs. That's why you have to be top 2 and get that bye into the semifinals.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the first round, you got to play 2 games.
That single game elimination is.
Win or die.
Yeah, that single game elimination is because anything can happen. Somebody tweak an ankle, somebody travel. Right. You have a bad. You've seen what they go through.
Last year, they traveled almost 5,000 miles for those 2 games.
Yeah.
In like 3 days.
Yeah. 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And all on coach.
Right. And
unfortunate.
No wonder why they lost to the Mystics in the playoffs. Got blown out. I mean, what do you expect?
You're tired.
Yeah.
You probably got in You probably got in super late, had to play a.
So,
yeah.
Best case scenario for them is, honestly, if somehow the Aces can get it done and the Sparks get it done, and then that's the finals. Because it doesn't have to be West versus East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best case for them is, you go back and forth on some flights like that. But likely you're looking at Connecticut or the Mystics.
Yeah.
And
that's cross country.
I think they're going to have a tough time versus the Mystics.
Right. But how do you pull out a game when you literally had to travel more than 2,000 miles?
I don't know, man. That's the you know, I said it when we went to the first WNBA. Well, I went to my first WNBA game, and it was a terrible experience. It was a preseason game, and it was at like the college wherever it was, Pasadena College. Yeah, okay. When they played the Storm, and
why was it terrible?
Because it's like I'm going to a professional sports team, and then I'm going in really it wasn't even a college arena, because I've been in USC's arena. Right. USC's arena is a fairly decent size arena, even for a college arena. It really was like a high school gymnasium.
Right.
The experience of the game was good. The atmosphere was good.
I think they did that on purpose, though.
I don't like that.
Because it's supposed to be like a community thing.
I'm not a fan of that. I feel like it cheapens the sport. So even back then, I was kind of
and they only play 2 preseason games.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Like, you getting all these players coming from overseas, and then you only get 2 preseason games. Then they float back out. It was a great game, though. I like the only thing that makes me mad is when people talk about the competition. The competition is there. It's just things like the flights and the travel and not having the proper accommodations. Even the 1-game playoff is cool, but if you're gonna do that, then like,
you gotta accommodate them better.
You gotta accommodate them a lot better. You can at least get them some first class flights, or tell an NBA team, can we borrow the jet for a week, couple weeks, something like that. I mean, sheesh.
Yeah. Some of them do have relationships with NBA teams, but the good thing for them right now is that they are in the midst of a CBA negotiation.
They are.
So is it good for them?
Yes, all of those things you talked about are things that they can say, well, you know, we want this, we want this, we want this. You never get everything in a negotiation, but
yeah, but dude, this is an honest question. Do they have enough bargaining power to be able to do that?
I think that, I mean, look, when I look at just what I've seen from the league this year, just being on social media, right? I've been on Twitter a decade now. I don't think I've ever, not granted, it could be because I'm paying more attention to it, but still, I don't think I've ever seen so many people having discussions about the league. And I think some of this is like, with social media, there's no like separation between fans and players anymore. Like, if a player wants to say something, a player can say it. A player can interact with people. So I think the fact that
Liz Cambage does a great job at shitting on 12-year-olds on Instagram.
No, but it's great. Like, all of that is amazing. It just drives conversation to the league. And I think that there's never been more people paying attention to the league, in my humble opinion. Like, even
I agree with that.
Like even something from the All-Star game, I think Briley Brown had dunked, and it was like a retweet, and somebody made a joke, but it got like 8,000 retweets. So that's 8,000 people that might have seen that play. That might, you never know. Next time it's on ESPN, when it's on ESPN2, might click into it and watch a game.
But think about it like this, TPJ. So I interviewed this sports economist for a story I'm working on about the CBA, and we talked about investments in leagues. Think about it like this. You know, we're all about the same age, but if you go back to the beginning of any league, they don't make money for a really long time.
Yeah, the NBA didn't.
30, 40, if not 45, 50 years before these leagues come of age. So if the NBA is an established league that makes billions of dollars, okay, they are a partner in this league. The WNBA is not its own entity. They are, but the NBA has a good stake in it. The NBA could easily double the budget like that. That's just a couple people's contracts.
Yeah, but why would I want to subsidize
That's a
that?
Tyler Johnson contract.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson
Tyler
contract.
Johnson got 3 for $60 million.
Contract.
That's a Tyler Johnson
Tyler Johnson contract.
I'm not saying Tyler Johnson is worth that contract.
But that's a Felicio deal. Felicio got 3 for 36.
I still think there's just a level that they got to get to before I think that they'll be able to get the true negotiating power that they want. I think it's like another 5 to 10 years, because I just don't think that the product, but also the personalities in the league have elevated themselves.
You can build in options in a contract too. It doesn't have to be set in stone. You can build it in tied to revenue. You say, well, if the revenue is this much, you know, we want this percentage.
Yeah, but the league has the league been making any revenue, or has it been like netting even, or has it been losing revenue?
The NBA says it hasn't made money.
I believe that. I believe that from covering NBA games. I can believe that. Like, even thinking about the second level concession stands being open and the second level seats being open, that's probably an extra $25,000 to $100,000 in revenue every game in just.
But here's
food,
my question:
beer and beverage.
Here's my question for you: how much do you think the highest paid player in the WNBA makes?
What is it? It's like $110,000, right?
$120,000.
Yeah.
I talk to people all the time. I tell them, "Oh, I cover the Sparks," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of Candice Parker. She has to make like 250, 300, 400,000." I'm like, no, makes like 120.
But this is the honest question that I've been asking. Like, why are these players worth this much money? If the television contracts aren't getting better, if the seats aren't filling up any faster, if the players themselves,
the television contracts are getting better.
They are getting better.
I mean, marginally,
they're getting better.
They are getting better.
They got to give personalities, though.
And you got to think about it like this: from when the league started in about '97, the players are basically getting paid the same amount now. They haven't even gone
have
up.
They made any revenue?
Going up with the cost of inflation, though.
Have they made any revenue though?
You're not getting paid the same from '97.
I mean,
in 98.
I mean, it depends though. I got a lot of homies whose moms are still teachers making $35,000, $36,000, $40,000 where they live, and they've been teaching for forever. It depends on where you at, but it also depends on your market value. Like, I'm not saying the WNBA players don't have market value, but I think that part of them not having the market share that they want is partially because they're marketed terribly and they don't have the personalities that they need. They need more personalities. Like I'll put it this way. There are at least about 6 different NBA players that have probably their own show on some type of platform. And there's probably like 30 NBA players with vlog channels. That's only 30 of them. That's probably like that's less than probably like 1% of them or something like that, because it's 400 some players in the NBA, right? But still, how many WNBA players have like a vlog channel or have some kind of something that they shooting behind the scenes showing their life? How many of them are you seeing market themselves and really be personalities? I think a lot of it, even when you're looking at the WNBA players and their Twitter followers, it's just about engagements. Like, I look at a lot of WNBA players' Twitter pages and they don't engage with anybody, or to be like 5 tweets in the past 6 months. You're not marketing yourself. You're not marketing your sport. So, like, I hope they can get more, because I do think that they need to, if they're gonna keep the league around, make an investment in it. Like, I feel like the NBA is kind of like halfway, like on the toilet, halfway off. It's like, you're either gonna shit or get off the pot. Like, if you're gonna invest in the league and give them what they need, don't just give them what they need to actually open the arena. Give them what they need to invest in their marketing, to invest in the personalities, to put them into a few more commercial spots and ESPN spots. Put them on some more NBA TV spots. We see female coaches in the NBA now. Have them do more stuff during the NBA season where you're promoting them and marketing the league.
I agree.
But where do they play during the NBA season? They're not here.
Yeah, they're not. But luckily they are doing that thing this year. The national team. Yeah, national
but think
team,
about it like this. So they're essentially getting about $100,000 for the top 8 players. That's all it took for them to stay home. That's like doubling your salary.
Yeah, but where the money coming from though?
But the whole salary cap is only $1 million.
But where's the money coming from?
$12 million.
How many?
The NBA has $12 million.
I'm sorry. How many women are on each WNBA roster?
12.
12. All right, coach. So you get $1 million. Divide that by 12. That's less than $100,000 right there.
Right.
So if the top player on the team making 100 racks, that's
10%. The NBA, that's $12 million.
But
they cough that out.
But if I'm the NBA, it's why?
It's a long-term investment, because think about it like this. Let's say each team right now is worth, I don't know, $5 million.
Yeah.
Okay. If you take another, I don't know how much you want to put in 10 years.
No, I honestly think they all should be making minimum $1 million a year. I think they should be all making $1 million.
Too much.
No. I don't think it's too much. But if you, like I said, if you're gonna do it, like, you gotta fully make the investment. You can't just raise their salaries and be like, all right, cool, now we're just gonna run everybody back out there. Now everybody's making equal money. It's like, no, if you're gonna raise our salaries, give us $10 million more in marketing budget. Give us access to certain NBA, a qualified amount of access to certain NBA TV personalities to cover WNBA things. Get a Reggie Miller or Marv Albert to want to come and do a nationally syndicated WNBA broadcast. That's how you get the male fans to want to invest in the sport. It's bigger than just the contract money. They have to build the sport. And I feel like everybody keep looking at the pay gap, but they're not looking at like how these players are marketed. I don't see these women anywhere other than literally on the WNBA's Twitter feed or their team's Twitter feed. They
I agree
have
with
to be
that. And also, but when I talk about WNBA, people always, like you said, it's been around, 20 years? If you 23. 23. If you look at the NBA, right, within 23 years of its existence, it was not the NBA that you see today.
No, they had teams in Rochester and Buffalo, New York.
Look, they had teams in Rochester, Buffalo, New York.
No offense to Rochester and Buffalo, New York, but they had teams there, literally.
I mean, Buffalo got the Bills.
Players
to be fair to Buffalo, they do have the Bills.
They do, but players had jobs in the offseason. Like, it wasn't even when I look at the facilities, it wasn't the same. Like, now every team has their own practice facility. The Clippers, right? A lot of what happened with their franchise is they got better facilities. They didn't even have a practice gym in the 90s. So how can you even expect the product to get better if the players don't even have anywhere to go practice and get better? So again, I think that in the next 20 years, the league will look different than what it has in the previous 20 years. Also, the fact of, I think it's great, which is why I thought Camp Day was such a great idea, because we're just now getting to the point where you have women who are coming out of college who have always lived in a world where the WNBA existed and was something to aspire to. And I think that that's huge, even for parents, right? If I got a young girl, right now, she's 5 years old, she's like, I want to play in the WNBA. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to allow you to do that. I'm going to put you in basketball instead of putting you in dance or something like that, because it's something to actually aspire to. This is something that's been around for a while. And I think women playing professional basketball has just been more normalized now. And I think that that's what's going to help the game, because for one, the players who are raised up in the social media era will be more cognizant of their brands because they just have to be. Like, I think everybody is just more cognizant of your personal brand, not even knowing that you are, just because we're all on social media. We all have an Instagram. So I think everybody is just more cognizant of that. So I think that even the talent and the players and the mindset of the players that's coming out won't be the same as it was in the previous 23 years. And I think that the next 10 years, the league will see incredible growth, in my humble opinion. I think it will.
We'll see.
I do. But getting off of that, I know you had a tweet in which you said that, what did you say, Derek Fisher should get some coach of the year?
No, I think he's coach of the year in the WNBA.
I don't disagree with you.
He got dogged by everybody when he first started.
And I was telling everybody, calm down.
Because of his philosophies, but it's also like, it's that Phil Zen Master shit. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's that Phil Zen Master stuff. Where it's just like, I'm going to let my guys do what my guys do, and I'm just going to give them the opportunities to maximize it, but they have to play as a team. He kept saying earlier on in the season, I feel like from all them clips was like, once, like everybody just has to continue to play as a team.
And
we just have to stay focused, trust each other, and make the right reads. Well, they weren't making the right reads at first because they were used to being in the offense, where everything that they did was micromanaged and micro-controlled. And then he comes and he's like, all right, cool, here's a basic set of plays. Basketball. Go out there and run some sets and read and react, which is the same thing that the triangle is, read and react for the most part. And they not used to that. They used to like very like tough, drill sergeant type of, this is how we run an offense. And now you see when they play now, the freedom that they get to play with.
They also had to grow up without Candice Parker. Yeah. Because as you've seen the last two games, when Candice Parker's in the game, she pretty much is splitting point guard duties with Chelsea Gray. Yeah. And don't let him put another guard in there, then it's
Alexis.
Like, Alexis,
and I remember him saying she should play like Jokic. So
yeah, they default to her. So
because I thought it was over for Candice when she first came back.
Right. But when she was out, that allowed the team to really learn how to start to play like that free-flowing, almost like that playground offense that he's trying to push with that positionless basketball. So now her fitting back in, it's just a case of her fitting in instead of standing out.
What happened
but she's still a standout player.
Like what happened was you just didn't have anybody to save you. I think that sometimes what happens is when you have somebody like a Candice Parker or even like a Chelsea Gray, somebody who can pretty much get their own shot whenever they feel like getting their own shot, sometimes running offense, you don't put the same emphasis on the little things because you can get away with certain things, right? So for instance, if like I got Harden on my team, right? I don't necessarily have to run great offense because when there's 10 seconds left, I can just throw the ball to you and just walk away from you and expect you to do something with it. And I think that certain games in like the beginning of the season, I saw them like it didn't look like an actual offense. And also I don't think that they made the extra pass. I thought they looked for somebody to bail them out too much at certain times. And now when I watch it, the ball is flowing. Like the game against the Storm, right? I saw them make the extra pass more in that game than I saw them make the extra pass all season. And the fact that Chelsea Gray, for the most part, is still getting 10 assists every night. Like these past two games, she's still been getting 10 assists. Splitting point guard duties is incredible to me.
Right.
Like, it's not like she's dominating the ball and getting these 10 assists. A lot of those come in transition, or it comes off like somebody rolled and cut, something like that. Or she'll come up and get the ball from Candice, and then somebody will cut, and then it's assist. So look, man, I just really think I'm just super impressed by his coaching job. And also I'm impressed the way he knows how to get the most out of his players. I feel like he's maximizing everyone right now.
I think it's because he was a player
and
recently.
Also, I don't want to cut you off, but I think that him not being, obviously, Fish had his moments, but him not being a great player helps him. Because I think sometimes when great players coach teams, it's like, man, why can't you be like me? Because I'm just so great. Like, I just can you imagine Kobe coaching the team? Mm-mm. Like, how? It's just like, bro, some people just can't do certain things that you had to do. Right. So Fish, I think him being a role player, him having to fit in with a team, him having to play with a Kobe Bryant, I think it helps people like Sydney Weiss or like Tierra or like even Marina or Maria, those people like that play with Candice. Like, look, I played with Kobe. I know how it is to, play with a great player. And sometimes you just are reluctant to play your game. I know how it is. I've done it, but this is how you do it. So I think that him being a role player, I think role players probably make the best coaches. Role players and point guards make the best coaches. And
I think he's a very good candidate for Coach of the Year simply because he's pushing the league forward.
I said that in
the way he's playing basketball.
I love it.
The way he's coaching basketball.
I love it.
When the rest of the league plays like that,
it's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Like to me, this is what the league, because look,
because you're actually letting them play basketball instead of saying you stand here, you stand there. Here. I'm gonna give you the ball, and then you try to score.
See, because
it's fluid. Basketball needs to be fluid. It's an art form.
Yeah, WNBA is not fluid. They have to fix the play style.
But see, the issue is, I think that, again, when women get more access to training, they get better access to training, they get better. I think that a lot of the coaches are still stuck like it's 10, 15 years ago. Like, the women don't have the basketball skill, like the individual basketball skill to do certain things. I think that Fisher recognizes that all these women are supremely high level. For one, they have the same trainers as the men. There's only so many trainers. Ain't like it's 900 million trainers out here.
They literally hired one. They hired Dash.
Yeah, exactly.
So they hired one of the best trainers out there. I mean, we've seen his videos before he was even on the Sparks.
Yeah, so they have the same trainers. So you don't have to micromanage every aspect of the game because they're just skilled. And I think that I'm with you. But that's why I love what coaches is doing. And I remember even NECA, when I asked her about it in the beginning of the season, she said that it was something that she needed at this point in her career. Because when you try to micromanage everything, basketball can get boring. Right. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this play, set the screen, go stand here, and no. But when you put the onus upon these women to go play basketball, these are the results you get. Right. And it also builds up trust within each other. Like I've the first game I ever covered doing anything was 2 games before Jimmy got traded from the Timberwolves. By mistake, I walked in the T-Wolves locker room because I was like, oh, I need to talk to D Rose because I'm from Chicago, so D Rose. So I walked in the locker room, and granted, I think, did you play sports in high school?
A little bit, yeah.
But so we've all been in locker rooms before. I walked in the locker room and I'm like, oh, they have to trade Jimmy. This is a badly fractured locker room. Like, this is not working. The next game, walk in the Clippers locker room and it's like, oh, okay, like this is what it's like when a team is being a team. Mm-hmm. When I walk in the Sparks locker room, it's always good atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Even if they lost by 30, it's still like I never feel like the team is broken and fractured. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it is because he puts the onus on them to go out and just play basketball and trust each other. And I think that these are the results you get. So I'm with you. And when you look at just the injuries he had to fight through, it's you playing with 8 people sometimes, and you still maximizing and winning and grinding out games.
About it over and over. Honestly, it made his job easier.
It did,
because if he would have had to start the season with his full 12 roster, he would have lost some players.
I agree.
Real early, because honestly, up until that last game, I thought he lost Marina Mabry.
Yeah,
because she wasn't getting any ticks. She came out there, she found herself again. Yeah, but Sydney Weiss, would she have started any of those games if Candice Parker wasn't out?
Maybe.
No.
Fair, but
she barely played the last 2 years.
You're right.
Think about it like this. Even early in the season, Sydney had some DNPs when Candice was still out.
And you look at her now, she's like a whole different player from early in the season. Like
she's integral now.
Yeah,
there's no way she drops out of this rotation now when she goes back to the bench.
At all. And she does so much that the stat sheet doesn't show. Mm-hmm. And now, I can even tell by the shot she's taking. Heinrich. Yeah, I can even tell by the shot she's taking that she's so much more confident. Mm-hmm. I remember one game she shot a step back. I'm like, I've never seen you shoot a step back 3 ever. But the fact that you're doing it lets me know that you're confident and you're not looking over your shoulder.
But more than the shooting, it's the passing now.
Yeah, the passing too.
She's trying to turn into like a little mini point guard. Yeah. She's trying to turn into like a mini Chelsea Gray. Yeah. Now, obviously, Chelsea Gray is who she is. And I talked to her after the game, and she was saying that she kind of patterns her game after, say, like Magic Johnson and Tisha Penichero.
Yeah.
You know, those are her two that she watched for those no-look passes. But Sydney is seeing that, I can make that same kind of look too if I'm looking out for it. And a lot of players are doing that. Obviously, Candice will make those passes. Chelsea makes those passes. Weiss makes those passes. Jones can make those passes. I mean, even Marina, I saw her make a nice pass. Like, Marina's got some sizzle on the game.
Yeah, but again, that's why I just love like how connected this team is, because when somebody makes a play like that, everybody's up. Everybody's up and everybody's cheering. Like, I remember at the end of the game, the Storm game, I think Candice made like a behind-the-back pass, and everybody was like, yo, so energized about the passes.
Right.
And I just think that, again, when you talk about you going to a one-game elimination, you got to fly 5,000 miles. Those are things that help.
That's why, if we want to talk about the playoffs now, that's why you want to avoid that. If you're the Sparks, you don't want to have to play in the first round or the second round. You got to do everything you can to get a top 2 seed and get that playoff bye automatically into the semifinal round when you're actually playing a best-of-5 series.
Yeah.
A single elimination game, that's a crapshoot.
Anything can happen.
That's a crapshoot.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. That's like March Madness. I mean, like you see 4 teams
granted,
beating 2.
Right now they probably would be the home team in those situations as they continue on, but still.
Anything can happen.
Yeah. Somebody gets hot one night, somebody makes 10, 15 threes, you're done.
Yeah.
You're cooked.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there like, oh, well, guess we should have won a couple more games.
Yeah, but rounding it out, because we have, 4 minutes left, what would you like to see improve? Like what is an area that you think the Sparks could improve upon as they close out the season that will help them if they do find themselves in a situation where they didn't get a top 2 seed and they do have to go into a single game elimination? What's some stuff that you think they can improve upon?
I want to see the Sparks finally play their best 4 or 5 players together on the court at the same time.
Who do you think that is?
Obviously the best 3 in no particular order. Gray, Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, but I also think Shanae is in there.
I don't think she's one of the best players on the team.
I think it's Maria.
If you let me talk.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Or, because I'm a proponent of a large front court lineup at some point in the game. I either want to see Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, and Shanae, or I want to see Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, and Maria Vadiva. I want to see that lineup because if that's on, it's lights out. Who's going to stop that? Like, in this version of the WNBA, when you have no Maya Moore and you have no Breanna Stewart and you have no Angel McCoughtry and all of those types of players, you barely have Diana Taurasi. Who is going to stop a lineup like that? You can't stop that. If they are on, and because you still have that lineup, and you still got Chelsea Gray in the backcourt.
And then who would be
you can have
Raquana
Raquana out there when she comes back, or you want to just have defense. You can have TRP, or still got another all-star that's sitting there that would barely play. Elena Beard.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a squad. That's a squad right there. I mean, they have 6 all-stars on this team. Raquana Williams made an all-star team before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell. Gray
made an all-star team. Parker made an all-star team. Both Ogwumike's made an all-star team. Beard is a former all-star before she took some years off and came to LA. They got a lot of players on there that's got some game.
I agree.
So they got to get to the point where, they just throwing down the hammer and saying, like, these are our best 5 or 6 players. Tighten up that rotation a little bit because everybody's not going to be able to play. It's a 40-minute game. You don't have time to be playing 10 and 11 players. Yeah. Somebody's just going to have to sit there and
clap. Sit there and clap. Clap the
sit
team
there and
on.
clap and dap them up when they do the 3. Practice that. That's what somebody's going to have to do. But
my thing is, I'm still worried sometimes about how they cover the 3-point line.
They don't care about threes.
No.
You ain't figured that out yet?
Who?
The Sparks. They don't care about defending threes.
Yeah.
That's why you can't play in single elimination games. Because they don't care about defending the 3. First and second and third is the paint. then maybe the 3-point line.
Yeah, but see, even against the Storm, Sammy Wickham, if she was on that night,
right?
If she was on, she might have had 30. Because they left her open a lot. She just happened to miss. I think she shot, 4 of 11?
Yep.
So, see, because like I'm saying, that you got to cover the 3-point line better. Like, that's the one thing when I watch them, like, oh, man, like, y'all.
You can say it, and I agree, but it hasn't happened, and I don't think anything's going to change in 10, 12, 13 games. I
mean, because, see, you play some of these better teams. Like, you got Chrissy Tolliver out there. You got Kayla McBride. You got some of these other people out there. And then when they teams get healthier and, like, look, you can't be just leaving them out there like that.
That's why you got to do what you can do best, and that's be big and be physical.
That's fair.
And worry about your defense.
That's fair.
And yes, they can have better perimeter defense. They probably would agree with that, but haven't shown the fight to do it right now. Right now, they just kind of depend on teams not taking that many threes. Because still in the WNBA, they still don't take as many threes as they should.
Yeah, they don't. They really should take more threes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you're still in that era where you can kind of just like
get by without it. Yeah.
If they shoot 50% from 3, but they only take 15,
it don't really.
They make 7 or 8. Like, okay,
really hurt you that much.
Can manage that.
Yeah,
but they're not taking 20, 25, 30.
I think that's how you beat them, though. If I'm a coach, that's fine. We'll wait on it. If I'm the Storm and we mess around and we get the Sparks in the semifinals or anything, every time you get the ball, shoot a 3. We're gonna run a screen and roll. One of them big people that you want on the floor gonna get caught up. Right. Shoot it, bang it.
But you know what?
We're gonna send them home fast.
But by that time, you got Elena Beard out there. Changes the defense.
Man,
one player can change the defense.
If you look at them Sparks games from early on in the season, when it's
been hurt all year,
which is actually when I was paying attention to them, it's not just about one player. It's about they whole team getting lost on defensive assignments and getting lost on threes. They face a good coach that's going to be able to scheme against them. It might be a long night in LA. It really might.
That's my worry. So yeah, just rounding it off. That's my worry. First off, I want to say appreciate you, John, for coming through.
Thank you.
TPJ.
Yeah, what's up,
Appreciate you for coming through. Get your plug in before we leave out. Tell the people what you do, where they can find you at.
Everybody can check me out on Twitter at John W. Davis. I cover the Sparks for W Insidr, having a lot of fun doing that. I try to make as many practices as possible, so you see content from me there. Also putting stuff on Instagram, John W. Davis. But yeah, just check us out, W Insidr, and thank you for having me.
Of course. So yeah, it's been Sparklight. Link up with you guys next week.
Got me up so high, going down my mind for you. You got me up so high, going down my mind.